Dating 101, Dating 101, Jason Hill.
Oh my gosh, I got a date again. This is the thought that raced through my head the second I realized I was heading back out into the dating pool. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, let me tell you, once I was back out there again, it quickly became apparent to me that my access to available singles was lacking. Thus, I decided to venture out into the scary world of online dating. Plus, it's the hip and cool thing to do these days, right? While it may be a good medium to meet more dating prospects, even the most cool and collective newbie can feel overwhelmed by the barrage of emails and winks one receives upon entering this realm. Thus, I established some guidelines to help me navigate these waters safely. Today, I'm going to share 3 of these guidelines with you and the events that led to them being established. First off, when we date, we want to meet somebody out in a public place for the first time, and most specifically, some place that we feel comfortable at. One of the first ladies I met out somehow talked me into meeting her at a place I was not familiar with. Mistake number 1. She said, "Me and my friends are going to meet out for a few drinks. You should join us. It's going to be a pretty quiet place, pretty low-key." Well, upon arriving at this place, I could hear music and voices spilling well out into the parking lot. But I proceeded in anyways. Mistake number 2. Upon entering this establishment, I was quickly greeted by this nice gentleman. "Hey, pretty boy, you lost? You must be at the wrong bar." Friendly place indeed. And this is when my date greeted me while taking a shot of whiskey. I quickly apologized for the rowdy crowd and said, "Let me buy you a beer to make it up to you." I accepted. Mistake number 3. While she was buying said beer, she took a second shot and had a third one before I finished my beer, and then just prior to her brief nap on our table. Check, please. And this concludes our brief but very interesting night out. It's no wonder why so many people stay at home these days. But I did learn a good life lesson. And my first guideline, I always meet somebody in a public place for the first time, specifically somewhere where you feel comfortable at. Our next guideline can deal with our everyday lives. It's simply be honest, be yourself, but don't expect anybody else to be. So I was on this train wreck of a date. Choo-choo! All aboard the crazy train. Bad. She showed up late, talked and complained constantly. Forgot my name, and then confused me with a date she had earlier in the day. Even as this mess was unfolding in front of me, I tried to view it from an outsider's perspective, a kind of out-of-date experience, you might say. So I found some entertainment value in it. Though there was more to come. The next day I received an email from this charmer saying, "OMG, had a super time." Really? I just thought I'd let you know that I'm a lot older than what I put on my profile. I feel younger, so I thought I'd just put a younger age on there. So I'm not 40, I'm really 45. Wow, isn't that nice of you? Why are we afraid to be honest with one another? Why do we have to lie? I guess researchers do say that on average, we all lie about 5 times a day. Which is true, I guess, unless the researchers are lying to us. Something to think about. Finally, when we're dating, we want to set boundaries for ourselves so we can remain safe. Thus, our third and final guideline. It's don't invite anybody to your home until you've known them for maybe a month, I'd say. Anybody here have ever stalker before? Well, I have, and hopefully it's the last one I've had in this lifetime at least. Maybe stalker's a little too harsh, though. I like to refer to her as my partial stalker, just because I never felt threatened by her, just a bit creeped out. She was the first person I dated after being released back into the wild, so to speak. And I'd known her for about 2 weeks at the time. And the only reason she knew where I lived is because she picked me up on the way to go for a hike earlier in the week. And the day was like any ordinary day. Bright blue sky. Came home from work, and that's when things took a turn. As I was pulling in my driveway, I kind of noticed something strange on my front porch. So I pulled in the driveway, parked my car in the garage, got out, and wandered out front to say, who it was. Right away I notice there's new flowers in my potters. And there's a patio set on my front porch where there wasn't one before. I stood there in shock wondering, where did this come from? As the hairs in the back of my neck sprang to life. Then I come inside kind of confused, and my roommate at the time goes, "Hey bud, did somebody move in?" And laughs at me and points not toward the front of my house, but toward my backyard. Instantly, goose flush was all over my body as I looked up at two new potters, a hammock, and this cooler with a note on top of it. It's at this time the sound of Psycho played over and over again in my head. Kind of in hindsight, I kind of think back and go, maybe I should have just kept dating her for a couple more weeks. Maybe she would have refurnished my whole house. But I guess I'll never know. But I did survive to tell you my tale today. And the moral of the story is, please hold off on letting that special someone know where you live. So as you can see today, I have a lot of interesting dating experience out there, but I will not let them deter me because I still believe the one for me is still out there somewhere. So I'm going to keep searching until I find her. Happy dating, everyone.